great time.
Just outside the record.
Here they come, they're arrowed here. Great go. I thought Vermont was going to get up. When he went over the last, he just puts in a bit of a short one here. Just noticed there, he's on the outside. Preludes really fights back. Great for Brian Constable. He's been one of our top hurdle jockeys for years. And they fight back very good, and he beats his stablemate.
9, 13 and 3 are the numbers. Fourth in was number 6 and fifth in was number 7. Eric Musgrove trained Gilligan, who fell coming down just before the winning place with a lap to go, and he's trained first and second there, are one of the riderless horses. But they got up, and is often the case, as long as they don't hurt themselves, they'll get up and chase the rest of the field, yes, which is what happened with the 2 horses that fell in this instance.
But, you know, a great way to start this day with this track. And after walking on it, Dan, gee, I'm really keen on Cabstad Way now. I thought this track's going to set him down to the ground. Here they are. Here's another good shot of them. Preludes is in the middle. Vermont's on the outside.
Had its chance, Vermont. It loomed up, probably took the narrowest as lead, but as soon as it got there, it had enough, hasn't it? And Prelude's fought on well.
I just sort of thought that last jump was the one that brought him undone. Well, there's Mark Aston in the mounting yard.
Thank you very much. Well, Eric had 4 in that. You had a pretty good chance.
Yeah, no, we're in with a good chance, and just lovely to win.
Yeah, Prelude's not a bad performance, and unlucky in the Grand National.
Yes, he was got interfered with early in the race and lost a heap of ground. It's only a first season horse, so he's done a pretty good job this year.
And Brian's a terrific rider, isn't he?
Yeah, no, Brian had his choice of the 4, and that's what he selected, so he's obviously a good judge too.
What now for the horse?
He'll go to the paddock and probably come back and get ready for the Lumber Classic over the Oakbank Carnival.
Well, congratulations on Foster's Melbourne Cup Day. Great start for you, Eric.
Yeah, really good. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Eric. Eric Musgrove there, Pete. Good start for him.
Yes, Mark. Mixed fortunes for Eric Musgrove, but the numbers there after the first are 9, 13 and 3, and I think the stewards might be having a little chat to Brian Constable about riding his mount out. He certainly sat up a little bit, and I think Des Gleeson will be having a little chat to him, but he's got the money here in the first. And as we go to the break, the numbers are 9, 13 and 3. We'll be back with the dividends and to continue our Melbourne Cup preview when we return to Flemington.
She's dating.
First of the 10 rituals coming up on Foster's Melbourne Cup Day with the Chairman of Stewards, Mr Des Gleeson. I'm happy to report that both of the horses that fell are okay. Gilligan and Camargo will check on the condition of Rochelle Lockett.
Correct weight?
Weight is right, correct weight there. After the running of the first, the Harvey Norman hurdle, numbers 9, 13 and 3. And with weight there, let's check the dividends all around Australia with Dan Malicki.
$20.70 and $5.70, so the trend of some pretty handy priced winners continues at Flemington. $11.50 the runner-up Hibernian Prince, $2 Vermont. The Quinella paid $365.90, Exacta $543.20, Trifecta $7,839, and they're the relevant dividends in Queensland. For example, the Trifecta paid over $25,000. Good luck to you if you were successful. On the first event, Goss, the numbers were 9, 13 and 3, and I think the bookies have finally got the carnival they've been dreaming of for a long, long time, Tim.
Yeah, absolutely. They've just loaded up again. They got plenty with Preludes winning that first there, Dan. Maybe an omen for punters for the Melbourne Cup, because I can tell you now that number 9 in the Cup is Carpstad Way, number 13's Behemoth. They'd be loving this weather, and I can tell you that Carpstad Way is the one everyone is talking about. It is equal favourite now with Diatribe, and Freemason is at 7-1 on the next line of betting. But they're all talking, Peter Donegan, Carpstad Way.
And they may very well be talking about it more throughout the day, Tim. And Tim Gossage will be a very important man down in the betting ring prior to the running of this next event, the Drumstick Gold Stakes, because we have a few first starters here and some of the unraced, and hopefully we might get some betting information. It's always a good guide. Eyes on Success has come up the Tate favourite, but Jen, to be honest, we don't know a lot about them.
No, well, they're all the young 2-year-olds, Peter, so we're just wanting to have a look at them. We know how much they cost and a few other details about them, but not a great deal. I'm going for number 6 here, and you can pronounce it. I always get it wrong, yes.
Aberdeen?
Aberdeen.
Eyes on Success from Rich, myself and Gary. Why have you gone for Free World, Letsy?
Well, it's a very well-bred horse by Rory's Chester, raced by the Swettenham stud, and they love to win a race over Melbourne Cup Carnival in the hay stable. I think that's good enough.
All right, and King of Prussia was also mentioned in dispatches there by Dan Malicki, so we have quite a few selections here for race 2. But as I said, we'll keep you up to date with what is happening in the betting ring. Time for the presentation after the running of the Harvey Norman Hurdle. Here's our Master of Ceremonies, Rob Gaylor.
Ladies and gentlemen, time for our presentations here. Mr. Peter Peckety from the VRC, representing the club here, Mr. Gary Brown, the senior proprietor of Harvey Norman, to begin our presentations.
Thank you, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great pleasure on this great day for Harvey Norman to be associated with this race. On behalf of Harvey Norman, I would like to congratulate the winner of Prelude on this terrific race. I would now like to take the opportunity to introduce to you the owner, Mr. Piers Morgan.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gary Brown representing Harvey Norman. Thank you to the Harvey Norman Corporation, because racing needs sponsors like Harvey Norman and all the other supporters of racing. First of all, I'd like to thank the horse Preludes for a superb effort. I must pay particular tribute to his trainer Eric Musgrove. He got a lot of trouble in the Grand National this year, and when he came back to scale, he said, I'll bring him back on Cup Day and we'll win the Cup Hurdle. So to you, Eric, a fabulous training effort. You've timed his run to perfection, and well done. And also trained the Quinella in the race. To Brian Constable, who's had a lot of faith in the horse all the way through, thanks for a fabulous ride and getting him home today. Thank you very much.
Thanks to Jerry Harvey and his company Harvey Norman for their great support of racing here at Flemington. The Harvey Norman Hurdle is over and done with. The Drumstick Gold Stakes is the next race 2. It is coming up at 5 minutes past 11, which is around about 20 minutes away from now. As we go to the break, let's check in with more of Milton Black's Lucky Numbers. As we continue to look at Milton Black's lucky numbers, see, I promised you we'd have some. Here are some of the arrivals by all various means of transportation, a couple of train platforms at Flemington, and they are tipping out numbers of people up in the hundreds of thousands probably today. So we've got a wonderful day in front of us here on Foster's Melbourne Cup Day. Wherever you're joining us early in proceedings around Australia or around the world, hopefully you're enjoying it. And we return now to the running of the big one, the Foster's Melbourne Cup, and take a look at number 10, Maridpur, which is the second of Michael Moroney's 3 runners in the race. Hang on, that'll be Michael Moroney now. So just pass that over, Rich. Hello, Michael. Yep, we're getting to your horse now, so stay tuned. Thanks, Rich. Thanks for calling, Michael. Michael Moroney there on the phone. Maridpur, trained by Greg Childs, barrier number 6.
Ridden by
Greg Childs. The phone call's thrown me. Barrier 6, 52 kilos, and it's making up the numbers, surely.
Well, Peter, this horse did show some form in the UK before coming out here, but really hasn't fired a shot at all since it's been here, and I find it very difficult to have him. Impossible to tip, really.
You would think so.
I wouldn't like to be behind him because he's likely to go forward.
Well, another horse you might not like to be behind is the Hind, and I'm not stuttering, but the Hind unfortunately had a bit of a heart problem going back to Moonee Valley, but they appear to have rectified that. Stephen Baster rides for Peter Hayes, comes in now to gate number 12, 52 kilos. Have you ever had a horse that's experienced that sort of thing, Rich?
A couple of times. It generally takes more than one run. Generally takes a spell to fix them, but who knows? You know, that he did fail to finish in the Moonee Valley Cup. He only ran 10th of 16 in the McKinnon Stakes on Saturday. He was beaten 7 lengths, and I can't see the Hind doing. He's been a gunner, and horses that have had one go at the Melbourne Cup and failed usually keep failing. Now, what about old Yippee-I-O, number 12? This horse was favourite for the Melbourne Cup 3 years ago, got very sick, nearly died, and now all of a sudden he's struck form again. Darren Beedman rides for Alan Denham. He has got barrier 18, but I don't think that'll make too much difference to him, let's see, because he does get back, and I really like the win at Moonee Valley. He looked a different striding horse to me this night, and I think he'll appreciate getting to the big track here at Flemington.
I think you're right there, Pete. He actually got up there very quickly at the Valley from about the 600 to the home turn, and then he just went on with it. But he's won the Brisbane Cup, and he's also won the Queen's Cup at Randwick, and then he won the Moonee Valley Cup here, as we see him beating Brew. and bruised one of the chances in the race today. But oh, yippee, it'll be a popular win if this horse wins, because just the name and the horse himself, he's just been such a grand old trier, hasn't he?
And you wouldn't think the distance would be a problem. You'd think with his galloping action, he'd be able to go 3 laps.
He reminds you a little bit about Might and Power. He hits the ground that hard, doesn't he?
Yeah. On to 13, Bohemian. This horse has already won a very good race, being the Adelaide Cup. So looking to complete the double as Sub-Zero did back in 1992. Darren Gauci, the rider for Robert Smurden. Good gate in barrier number 3. McKinnon was just ordinary, but the Moonee Valley Cup run was pretty good, Jen.
Yes, actually I didn't mind his run in the McKinnon. I thought he bowled home quite nicely there. Gets in nicely weighted here with 51.5. We'll love this weather here today, drawing out the track, and I think he's been well prepared for this race.
On to number 14. Sorry, Jen.
No, I was just going to finish that off.
Yeah, I always jump in on top of Jen, and don't worry, she'll be reminding me about it later in the day too. Number 14, Our Unicorn. Matthew Gatt is the rider. Barrier number 22 with the scratching now, 51 kilos. And this horse's form would indicate that it's going to need some assistance along the way. Rich?
Hasn't won a race since March of 1999, so I can't see him doing it. His form recently, you see there, 10th, 7th, 9th in the Saab. Saab's the second level race on the Saturday. I'll be very surprised if from the outside gate he can win this race. I'll be shocked.
Number 15, Pastor Express. Paul Cave, the trainer. Rider here is John Marshall, the man who won 12 months ago. Barrier 15, 51 kilos. Let's see, I reckon if you go on the Metrop second, it's got a rough hope.
Yes, Pete, it just worries me the Sydney Cup run though before that, because it actually it ran 14th, and I just feel that the distance will find this horse out, Pastor Express. It's going to be an honest try, but it'll be to the home turn, but I just feel that down the straight's going to be its biggest problem.
What about number 16, and that is Skybow. This horse is running in its 5th Melbourne Cup today. Len Smith, the trainer. Dwayne Dunn, the rider. Barrier number 4. And only one horse has ever run in more Melbourne Cups, and that was Shadow King back in the 30s.
Oh, well, he might just get the record, Pete, because that's about all I think he can do here today. This horse ran 3rd to Saintly back in 1996, and I think he's had his chance. Geelong Cup run was terrible. He was going a long way out, and he's just not performing right at the moment.
What about Hill of Grace, number 17? We'll see if we can make a case for this mare, trained by Robert Prescott, to be ridden by Glenn Boss. Nice gate in barrier number 7. I think I've got Richard's teeth in. 50.5 kilos, and the McKinnon performance just, and 3,200 is going to be the problem, Rich.
Yeah, my teeth are white and yours are grey.
Okay.
But yeah, I have no confidence in this mare's ability to stay. I think she's had a number of tries at staying journeys and failed every time. Her furthest win has only been 2,040 metres, so I think the staying distance is a real test for her. I can't see her turning the tables on that today.
Now, one piece of good news, if you like, Citrus Prince, number 18. It was originally coming out of barrier 18, and no horse has ever won the Melbourne Cup from barrier 18. But now that Majestic Avenue's out, it's in barrier 17. And I can't make much more of a case than that, Let's see, to be honest.
Well, it's a certainty now, Pete. They're going on omens. This horse actually ran second to Freemason in the Queensland Derby, but oh, gee, Peter, I find it hard. I think Cliffy Brown would have liked to have been throwing the saddle on Bulkhead in this race with the colours.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, we're just about there as far as the Melbourne Cup field is concerned. A little bit later on, we'll complete the field and see one of the lightweight chances right down the bottom in Bruce. Still plenty more action to come. You're watching Foster's Melbourne Cup Day 2000 from fabulous Flemington. Wherever you're watching, hopefully you're enjoying it. And with Milton's lucky numbers, maybe you might even back a winner. A massive crowd has rolled into famous Flemington Racecourse. The Champers is on ice and the tables are out, the chairs are ready, and they were when Jen and I got here at around about 7:45 this morning. Preparations were still in full swing. It's going to be a great day here at Flemington. And after all, it is our truly national day in sport, and if you want to be in contact with us, why don't you jump on the email and give us a call on thecup@network10.com.au. thecup@network10.com.au if you want to be in contact with us. Okay, it's time to resume our look at the Foster's Melbourne Cup field with number 20, and that is Mr. Nelson. Russell Cameron is the trainer, Jason Patton the rider, barrier number 19. We'll go to you, Rich, and the Saab quality run, not too bad.
I give Mr. Nelson a bit of an each-way hope in this race. Funny enough, I think he's one that I'm going to put in my trifecta. He's going to take a few in the trifecta, but I put him in. I don't think his run in the Saab was all that bad. You know, I thought he battled on well. Ran second. If you give Brew a chance, you've got to give Mr. Nelson a silly chance.
And he'll be round about 33 to 1, so there's one for your trifectas. On to number 21, Pravda. Facts and figures surrounding this horse. The O'Sullivan brothers, Paul and Lance, will they combine? Barrier number 8, nice weight of 50 kilos. The horse has probably got some claims, but the Caulfield Cup run was just okay, I thought, Letzi.
It was just an ordinary run, Pete, I thought, in the Caulfield Cup. But Pravda, you know, you talk about the O'Sullivan brothers. It's hard to dismiss them when they bring their horses here for a race like this, isn't it? Because they wouldn't be bringing her down here if they didn't think she had a chance. Lance is a great rider, Paul's a great trainer.
Yeah.
Pravda, it's a horse that I've overlooked all the way through my selections, but I come back and think, gee, what are they doing here? And they're pretty good stable.
And it would be some sort of comeback by Lance O'Sullivan too, who suffered a shocking injury on Cox Plate Day a few years ago when he hit the rail in a fall. So it would be a great achievement from him. Good luck to him and good luck to his brother. Number 22, Celestial Show. The rider is Lenny Beasley for Len Morton. This horse with just the 49.5 kilos, barrier number 10. Pretty hard to make a case for her, though, although the run of Werribee was OK, I suppose.
Well, yeah, she fought on quite well there behind Slavonic, I thought, Peter, and her run in the Caulfield Cup was just OK. A slight query about her running out a strong 3,200 metres, though, so at best I'd say place chance for her.
Well, I can tell you one thing almost certainly about the Foster's Melbourne Cup this afternoon, and that is that Maguire should be the first horse placed in the stalls, but about it being first home, I don't think so. It's got gate number 1, number 23, Maguire, to be ridden by Luke Curry for John Collins, down the bottom at 49.5 kilos. Rich, for those who love the outsiders, can you make any sort of case for this horse?
I can a bit. He actually battled on all right in the Saab quality on Saturday, and I thought he's not the worst in the field. He probably hasn't got the class. He's got a rider who's only an apprentice and quite inexperienced at this level, but hey, sillier things have happened. He's only got 49.5 kilos and he has got the luxury number 1 alley.
Well, in the Saab quality, the horse that reached the line first was the horse that drops an enormous amount in weight today, number 24, Brew, the third of Michael Moroney's runners. Karen McAvoy is the jockey, comes into gate 23, but it's still the outside gate. Letzi, you've been keen about this horse all the way through, especially after the Moonee Valley Cup second and then the win in the Saab quality, and 7.5 kilos. He will be flat out knowing that he's got a rider on his back today.
He really will be, Pete, and we can see him here, Brew, going up alongside Lord Nelson, and I thought this was a real tough run with 56.5. He gets into the race today with 49 kilos. Kieran McAvoy, his first ride in the Melbourne Cup. He's going to give a great sight, this horse. He's tough. This is how tough he is getting to the line. I don't think Chris Muntz was real hard on him here either.
Yeah, I think that was under instructions from Michael Moroney, not to knock him around too much, but he did very... What are you laughing at?
Well, the second horse there had on the graphic was Lord Nelson. I think Lord Nelson finished racing about 18 years ago, and that was, in fact, Mr. Nelson.
OK, well, thanks for pointing that out to us, Rich. That's very kind of you. So there you have them, the 23 runners. My selections, I like Carpstad Way, the horse that they've been backing. I really think he's become the forgotten horse of the race ever since we thought we were going to have a wet track. Freemason will get a lovely run. Far Cry, I think, is the best of the overseas runners, and Brew, number 24, is my best outsider. What about you, Jennifer?
I'm going for number 2, Far Cry. I just think his record over the distance is very, very good, probably the best in the race. He's had 7 goes at it for 4 wins. Number 5, Freemason for second. I think he'll stay all day. And number 4, Diatribe for third. And my outsider is number 8, Coco Cabana.
Rich, you know what it takes to win a Melbourne Cup.
I like horses that have run a record in the Caulfield Cup. Diatribe did it. I reckon that's good enough to make him run 2 miles. Freemason will be running on well. And Zelly, high-class European horse. Give Behemoth an outside chance on the dry track.
Let's get the selections of John Letzi quickly.
Yes, Pete, I do like Far Cry to win number 2. I've been very impressed with this horse. I haven't seen him race, but I've seen the videos of him. Second, number 24, Brew. I would love to see him win the race for young Kieran McAvoy. Third, number 4, Diatribe. Great one, the Caulfield Cup. And my outsider, best roughie, was Coco Cabana, number 8.
Dan Malicki likes Carpstad Way as well to beat Yippee-Io and Arctic Owl, 9-12-3. Pasture Express, his roughie. And from Gary Willits in the Foster's Melbourne Cup today, his selection is also Carpstad Way to beat Freemason and Diatribe and Far Cry, number 2. So Gary not far away from my selections. 3 of us going for Carpstad Way. The totes, as they stand for the Foster's Melbourne Cup at the moment, have a look at these pools. Around about $100 million will be invested around Australia today in all various forms of wagering on the great race. Diatribe still the favourite at $6. Freemason, $9.80. Far Cry right in the betting. Carpstad Way coming in all the time at $7.60, and he will continue to come in as well. Then we go over the page where the main chances are Yippee-Io, number 12 at $8. Behemoth, number 13 at $12.90. Big odds about the others. Hill of Grace about the best of the rest. On that page, $28. And then we go over to the last page and take a look at the other runners, because, of course, Brew is going to have his supporters. So number 24, Brew, showing $18.20. Almost $9 million in the win pools and almost $7 million in the place pools. Now you can see the scene behind the gates there for the second. They're starting to move in quickly. Eyes on Success at $3.30. Numbers 2 and 3 Fancy. We'll try and check in with Tim Gossage in a sec. King of Prussia $5.40. Hobbardeely is at $6.20. So they are the tote figures. Tim Gossage, if you are standing by in the betting ring, can you tell us what sort of activity's been going on here, especially with the unraced?
Peter, massive go. You mentioned that you keep an eye on the bookmakers ring. Number 6, Overdally, has been heavily back. He won't jump favourite. Eyes on Success. Will, massive money for number 6, Overdally.
OK, so that is the one they've come for late. Hope you can get on your phone accounts and maybe follow that lead, or if you have another fancy, well, by all means, stick with it. Gary Willits, what took your eye on the way to the gates?
Well, I like the 3 by Rory Chester, Peter. I thought it looked very good. The 1, Eyes on Success, is drawing the ace, and it's very important there if you can get that fence. And number 6, Oberdell, that did look very well. But gee, it's a big advantage. The horse is drawing the inside on a T-rod. If you can get the fence, that's where you want to be.
Field of 8, and they're all locked away now. Free World's been a big drifter. Eyes on Success, the favourite. And the 2-year-olds are on their way now. Eyes on Success is the grey, and it jumped away well. Oberdely's got plenty of speed, as its name would suggest, and it's crossed over in front now. Free World very green in behind them. Going up was Cafe Strip, wider out Woodpecker, and King of Prussia was the widest runner as they run down to the 600 metres, and the leader Oberdely with speed to burn, a length and a half in front of Eyes on Success. Then in third spot was Free World. Grimer pushing through now in front of it. Free World's under pressure. Cafe Strip was handy to them, and then came Woodpecker, Wise Up, and King of Prussia the widest runner. 400 to go, and it's Oberdely 2 lengths in front of Eyes on Success. Cafe Strip wider out on the track. King of Prussia running on strongly now. It's Oberdely at the 200, 2 in front. King of Prussia closing now. Then came Cafe Strip. It's King of Prussia looming up to hit the lead now with Brett Preble, and it's swept to the lead. King of Prussia races away from Oberdely and Cafe Strip, and King of Prussia, another one trained by David Hall, most impressive on debut, and it wins it by 4. King of Prussia the winner. Cafe Strip a good run. Oberdely's run third, and they pulled right away from the other runners, including Grimer, Wise Up, Woodpecker, Eyes on Success tied, and Free World very green, raced erratically. I think it was stirred up before the race anyway, weakened, and the time was 57.2, which is exceptional for 2-year-olds.
Oh, incredible, Dennis, because it's only 2 seconds outside Special's record. But, gee, King of Prussia just... It was like it just joined in at the 250-metre mark.
It was wide on the track, very wide in fact. It was probably about 10 horses away, but it was also very green.
Very green.
But when Brett asked for it to go, it didn't have some acceleration.
The acceleration was incredible. Like at the 250, it was given it a good start. Here it's about 3 or 4 off them here. Brett Preble just gives it one crack with a stick, and away it goes. And its acceleration was quite incredible here. And it's put a space on them.
5, 2, 6 are the numbers. 4th in was Grimer, number 4, but a long way back. And 5th in was number 8, Wise Up. Eyes on Success looks some sort of a hope, but it weakened out of it. And the winner looks very impressive, as if he'll get further. David Hall, his good run continues. He had that wonderful carnival last year, again teaming up with Brett Preble. David Hall is with Mark Aston.
Always a pleasure to catch up with David in the winning circle. Very, very impressive performance.
Oh, look, he's always shown plenty of ability, and these 2-year-olds are a little bit hard to sort of really put too much pressure on. I haven't sort of tried him out that much and sort of cuddled him to get him to today, because I knew he had lots of ability, but to win like that, yeah, very special.
And you won this race last year?
We did. We won this race with the Rory Chester horse last year, and yeah, come back and do it. This horse looks even better again, I think.
Well, you had a great day on Saturday, maybe another big day today. Congratulations, David. Good start for you.
Thanks very much, mate.
David Hall there, Pete. Wonderful start for David.
Yes, very impressive. That horse, King of Prussia, there is the official finishing order, defeating Cafe Strip from the Freedman stable. You'd be pretty happy with that run, Rich?
Yes, he ran very well. He got beaten fairly comprehensively, but he battled on well, and he'll improve a lot.
Oberdely, after making the pace, didn't he fly out of the gates, Jen?
Did he ever? But he stopped pretty quick too, but good win.
5, 2 and 6, King of Prussia the winner. There's Brett Preble coming back. Remember the carnival he had last year? Well, he's got a winner up in the second on Foster's Melbourne Cup Day, the Drumstick Gold Stakes. We'll take a break and be back with the weight signal and the dividends all around Australia on race 2 on Cup Day. continuing to stream into Flemington, and there's a moment that is being captured down in the mounting yard. Foster's Melbourne Cup Day 2000 as the horses came back into the mounting yard after the running of the second. King of Prussia number 5 looking very impressive in defeating number 2 Cafe Strip, also running on nicely, and Obadili after making the pace number 6 has finished in third placing. 5, 2 and 6 the numbers in the Drumstick Gold Stakes, a listed race, event 2 at 5 minutes past 11. That was the starting time for that, and the third race is the next, and that is due local time here at 11:45. So to give you some sort of guide around the world, what the time might be, that is about 32 minutes away from now here at Flemington. So the various time zones around the world, now you know exactly how far behind or in front you may be. Des Gleeson checking the weights and finding them correct after the running of race 2. 5, 2 and 6. Let's see what the dividends are all around Australia with Dan Malicki.
Thank you, Peter. King of Prussia here on the Super Tab tote. $5.90 and $1.90. Cafe Strip $2 and Obadili at $1.60. Quinella paid $20.50, Exacta $42.70, Trifecta $226.80, running double $171. On the winners of the first two events, numbers 9 and 5. So King of Prussia, that combination, the lethal combination from last year, David Hall and Brett Preble. I'm sure the bookies would have been wary of those, that combination, Tim Gossage, but it was the Obadili money, and again they're smiling.
Absolutely, they are absolutely on fire. The bookies, the punters have copped a belting in the first two races. Obadili's money going astray. In the next, Snarbell and Sorcery about to open up about a shade under each way odds, but they'll open up the favourites for race 3. And just reaffirming and not wanting to sound like a broken record, Peter Donegan, Carpstad Way is the favourite, outright favourite now for Melbourne Cup. 5 to 1, 13 to 2 Diatribe, and 7 to 1 Freemason. Big money all morning for Carpstad Way.
All right, Tim Gossage, keep us up to date throughout the day if there's money for anything else. Let's move on to the third. This is the Singapore Challenge, 1,700 metres, and Charbel has come up the favourite. Geez, a tough race, Jen.
It is a tough race for sure, Peter, but I think she's got a terrific chance. Other chances probably Imperial Trisk, Rulable, those sorts of horses. So
it's Charbel at $5, Rulable 9, and Grand Seattle number 3, round about the $9.90 mark. Grey Line number 8's given a chance at $7.90. Over the page we look now to the remainder of the runners. Sorcery number 11 is my selection in the race. Trained by Bart Cummings to be ridden by Darren Gauci, well in the betting, and Zero Isle number 14 at $7.50 for Zero Isle. So there are a lot of chances here for the third. Now, why don't we look at the Strathfield race predictor? We'll do that in a moment. First of all, the selections from the panel for race number 3 on the card. As I said, I've gone for Sorcery, which is number 11. Jen's gone for Snarbell. So's Rich, so's Letzi. So they're either going to be very good judges or I'm going to be skiting. Imperial Trisk from Dan Malicki, Grey Line from Gary Willits. And yes, let's go back to the vision that we brought you on Saturday, the Strathfield Race Predictor, brought to you by our friends at Pineapple Head, 1,700 metres, not a distance that they use too often here at Flemington Rich, so it's only about a 300-metre run to the first turn, and then, of course, we'll pick them up at the top of the straight.
Yeah, and, you know, when you get to the top of the straight, the whips are starting to crack, and they're really putting on the pace here. They're getting inside the clock tower, and the race is usually won or lost in this bit. Well,
the predictor's going to come up with a winner, hopefully, for us, because it's skiting after Saturday, and you can see there that the numbers are 1, 3 and 11. On a good track today, 1, 3 and 11, so it's Charbel, Grand Seattle and Sorcery from the Strathfield Race Predictor. Let's head down now to the presentation after the running of the second event and join our representatives from the sponsors.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Nestle Peters are proud to be associated once again with the Victorian Racing Club and the Melbourne Cup Carnival. In particular, we are delighted to be the sponsor of the Drumstick Gold Stakes. Drumstick Gold is a delicious new lemon cheesecake, ice cream cone, and a fantastic addition to the Peters Drumstick stable. The Peters Drumstick Stakes was a thrilling and hard-fought race over 1,000 metres